what can I say beside February rhymes with heated rivalry? So should we get started on my February reading journal? And yeah, my February was only filled with gay hockey players, and I'm not even mad about it. What I was mad about though was the app I used to usually track my reading, and for some reason this month it was all over the place. So even though I am filling my calendar right now with the different days I've been reading, I'm not even sure it's correct, because for some reason it was not recording my reading sessions properly, and it got me really mad. So thankfully I do have a new app now that I'm using, so hopefully next month I will be a bit more certain of when I'm reading. But right now I was just focusing on trying to make the pages happen, and that's what we can do at this point. All we can do is roll with the punches and keep going. And yes, that's only 2 books again for this month, and those were painful, guys. I'll talk a bit more details about it later, but the fact that they are like 400 pages each and it took me a full month for that was painful. And I'm officially 3 books behind on my Goodreads challenge. And as you can see here, I still have not printed out the covers for my January, so we're going to leave a few blanks. And we're going to be filling in the boxes with February, only 2 books. There's no other bingo or anything like this we need to fill up, so we're going to go straight into the different reviews for those books. And we're going to start with the second in the series, I'm pretty sure. I have no interest in reading the other books, I'll be honest with you. I just wanted to read those about Chen and Ilya, and that's where I'm going to stop, because that just wasn't it, guys. In this spread I'm going to use a lot of blues to go with the cover, and the little chibi fan art you can see on the side here is from Libra Summers. I will put their details in the description if you want to check out the art. It's really good actually. As for the book itself, I only gave it a 2.5 stars, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not even sure it's worth that many stars, because I feel like I was using the show as a crutch and using it to fill in the blanks where the writing just was not it, really. I'm obviously not going to talk about any spoilers, just in case you haven't read or watched it yet, but one thing I was very surprised about was the fact that a lot of the conversations are literally the same in the book and in the show. Like, they were not edited that much, which I really did not expect, really, because I did find that the conversations were the only strengths of those books, to be real. The writing itself was is all I can say. You know what I mean? It was like, it's not bad, like it's still readable, but it just reads like fan fiction, which is the reputation it has, and I will say that I definitely agree with that. The writing style is really, I think, flat would be the best word to use it, and I do feel like the only reason I enjoyed it was because I had just finished watching the show for like the 3rd time and I still had the show on my mind, and that was helping me filling some of the blanks where the writing was lacking. Like, I was thinking about the scenes in the show and the feelings from the actors and all of that, and I think that was really helping me bridge the gaps between the TV show and the books, and making it more, I want to say palatable, but more like readable, really. And obviously there's no way to know if that is actually the case, or if I'm just like wishful thinking. There's no way for me to go back in time and read the book before the show. I definitely would not have read the book if it wasn't for the show, to be fair. But it's really hard to really judge the book on its own when the show was so big and so good and so well written that it's really hard to not fill in the gaps when you are reading it, if you know what I mean. And it's usually not something I enjoy doing, of like comparing the two. In January I did read what was it? People We Meet on Vacation before watching the movie, and the movie definitely did not compare because I love the book so much. But it's very rare for me to like the movie or the TV show more than the book, but this one for sure, the book barely compared. Which is a shame really, because it does have a lot of potential, but in my opinion the book did not work as much as the show did in terms of the impact and the emotions and all of those things that made me fall in love with the story in the first place. I felt it was very flat and very he says, she says, he says, she says, like what I like to call IKEA instructions, where it's just like sentences after sentences without any nice connectives or anything like this. I am talking like a teacher now, I can feel it. I'm sorry about that, but I felt like the flow of the writing definitely was not working well at all, and I felt like the writing was very generic and basics and didn't have anything in particular that I enjoyed about it. Like I said, the dialogues, very good, very funny, everyone had the voice, it was very clear, but in terms of the narration, that's where it was not working for me. And if you don't know, it is a double POV kind of situation where some of the chapters are from Chain's point of view, some of the chapters are from Ilya's point of view, which is always dangerous to do because I really felt like there was no difference between their voices when they were narrating the thing. It's still in third person, but it didn't feel like they really had personality between the chapters that made it sound like they were different. And I really did not enjoy that. And it will not stop me from watching the show for like a 4th or 5 times. And obviously after Repeated Rivalry came The Long Game, which is supposed to be season 2, I believe. I hope so. It does make sense, yeah. Because those 2 double spreads were from the same book series, I tried to use the same kind of washi tapes and paper I wanted to use so that they are seamless transition between them. I just used a bit of a darker washi tape to work with the green of the cover instead, and that kind of worked really well. I really enjoyed the way it looked on the paper now. And in a bit you will see I am going to be using a fan art by V Cook Artsy. Same thing, I will be putting the details in the description if you're interested in checking out their work. And in terms of rating for The Long Games, I gave it only 1.5 star. I cannot remember the last time I put such a low rating without just DNFing the book. Like, it was just that bad, really. Because all this book told me was that my feeling with the first book was right, and that unfortunately the books are only like half as good as the show, and if you don't have the show as a crutch, it just doesn't work for me at all. It's just like, it's not it. And at this point I honestly don't know if it's because the writing was worse or because I was using the show as a reference too much during the first book, but I do feel like the writing was just not good at all in this book. Like, it was terrible. And it's the first time ever where I was reading a paragraph and then in my head I was like rewriting it, being like, oh, it would be so much better if this and this and that, which I seriously don't remember ever doing that, reading something. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, this is so bad. On top of this, I'm not going to be talking any kind of spoilers because I don't want to spoil anything, but I felt like the plot did not help either. There were so many plot points that were introduced and then resolved in like 3 chapters. There was no real tension in the book. Like, there was some like relationship drama and stuff, but I never felt like it was like that big of a deal. I never felt like, oh no, something bad is going to happen. And the ending in particular really, really pissed me off, and I really did not like that at all. It was just so bad and so offensive in a way. Once again, I don't want to spoil, but like, I felt like poor Shane was just like punished in a way for being gay, and I really did not like the way this was handled, and I just had like a bad taste in my mouth when I was reading the ending. And the only thing I'm worried about now is like, how is the show going to handle that too, because I love this show so much, but there's only so much they can do without just like going away from the main plot, which I don't think they're really doing. So I'm a bit anxious about that, and I'm a bit scared about how they're going to handle that, so we just have to wait and see, I'm afraid. But yeah, I've read so many people saying that this was so much better than the first one, and in my opinion it was not at all. Like, the plot didn't work, the character development didn't work. I was just bored like so badly, and that's why it took me like a full 2 weeks to read it, because that was painful. But okay, it's done, it's read, we can just move on from that and start on my March setup for the month. And the setup is all going to be about this little mushroom guy that is from Lynn on Instagram. I just love her art, it's so cute, it's so adorable, and it made me so happy that I had finally a way to use it and to put those little shroomy guys everywhere. I did start with doing some collage from an old book. Once again, I say it again, I said it so many times, it's a second-hand book, okay? I'm not just describing a book that was fresh off the shelf just for the sake of it. This book has lived its life already. And I'm also going to be layering some craft paper on top of it. I really wish I could have been a bit smarter about it and cut the craft paper in two, because the way it's folding right now is not perfect, and I had to re-glue it literally right now, opening it to check the different spread, because it was just not like flush on the page, and it's still closing a bit weird, so you live and learn, you know. The washi tape I am using, the one with the leaves, is from a very old pack from Paper Chase, so I'm pretty sure it's not available anymore at this point. And I'm going to add more of those little shroomy guys and stickers. I'm also adding some little shroom girls that are from Craft, and some little colorful mushrooms that are directly from Sticky Club. I think they made that in-house. I don't want to add too much to make it too heavy, so we're just going to move on now to the double spread for my calendar and statistics. I am of course using the same stickers and washi tape as before, and the little calendar that I use every month to track my reading, it is from Muji. I just love them, they are nice and tiny, they fit on one page, and you can just write the number on the different boxes, and here you are, you've got your full calendar ready to go. As always, because I want to put some different cover of the books I'm reading, I'm not going to make it too busy on the page, because I know it's going to be a bit busier after all the covers are here. So we're going to stick to the top and bottom of the page, and we're going to make sure we don't crowd that a bit too much, otherwise it becomes too busy, and I just do not like that at all. I prefer it to be minimalistic, and it just makes my brain happy, okay? If there's too much, it just doesn't work for me. The only difference and only new thing this time around is that I'm going to add a few titles for some of the okay, you know what, yeah, that I'm going to be tracking this month. It's something I didn't do for either January nor February, and I feel like it would be better once I do it, because I am interested in the different stats. So I'm going to be tracking the number of books I read, the number of pages in total that I read in 1 month, and the different genres that I'm reading about. The first one for sure was fantasy romance. I finished it yesterday. I am so excited about it. I can't wait to talk about it, and then I'm not quite sure what my next one is going to be, so we will see. My school last week had a book fair because it was a book month and everything, and I spent a ridiculous amount of books, so I've got my pick. And here we are, the last few spreads. If you enjoyed that, please like and follow. I would love to keep you around, and have a very nice day, guys.